people think that when I put drugs and alcohol down, that I'm going to get better. It's really hard to explain to people that the things that I use to cope with reality and to cope with my own internal experience are also the things that are pathologically killing me and destroying my life. But that when you take those things away, everything on the outside might get better, but on the inside, I get worse, because what I then have is an ostensibly untreated mental illness. I use drugs because of underlying mental illness. And I feel like drugs cause or exacerbate mental illness.
When I was first incarcerated, walking through those doors, I'm in handcuffs, and just realizing like what a mess my addiction has created in my life. I was faced with a decision. I either make steps towards the life that I want for myself or continue to numb the suffering. Part of that life that I want for myself is to be the parent that I know that I can be, to be available to my son, to model resilience and a life that can take the worst circumstances and make something good out of it. When I look at my recovery, I really have to think of it as like a train that runs down parallel tracks, and either one's going to take the other one out. So if I'm not focusing on my mental health, it's going to cause a relapse. And if I'm not focusing on my recovery from drugs and alcohol, I'm going to get worse in terms of my mental illness. These things have to be treated in tandem for me to have any kind of success.
I understand the heartache and the stress and the struggle from relapse, because even myself, like, I'm in recovery right now, and it's crazy because like I used to go from being somebody who was accessing the services at the OPS, somebody that needed the help, to somebody that can help the people that need it.
I've relapsed more times than I could count on all the hands in this room, and I have a lot of shame about that. And I'm starting to learn that all of this was integral to my journey, to understanding my experience, to finding my voice, to letting go of some of the shame that I've had around what was really never a choice for me.
There's a saying that we have at the OPS with people that are accessing it. We say, if I can do it, anybody can do it. It's possible.
I said, okay, I'll try. It was like this tiny maybe that shifted everything for me. Maybe this time things could be different. And when I started to believe that, and I started to act like that, and the right people were put in my path at the right times, the right jobs, the right counselors, the right support, I started to get reinforced the idea like, this is it. This is your chance. The universe is giving you this. And like, you got to take it. You got to capitalize on it. And it became this like self-perpetuating loop of belief in myself. I had a lot of stories about going back to school, a lot of lack of belief that I could do it. The multiple times I've tried in the past have ended up with either suicide attempts or relapse or both. So I had a lot of fear, and yet I just did it scared. And I don't know why I managed to do it, and I'm in it. Then at the same time, I look at my life right now and I'm like, I'm working and I'm in school and doing well at it. I know what my values are and I can live in alignment with them. Mental health, addiction, stigma, all of those things attack the human spirit and crush the human spirit. What'll be a solution are things that spark the human spirit, things that bring that inspiration to want to get clean back. I can't hate myself into a version of me that I love. And people who perpetuate sort of a negative stereotype, that actually creates the very thing they're trying to avoid, because no amount of shame or self-hatred is going to actually affect change for me. Unfortunately, trauma in my family lineage has been handed down. I think of my biological father and the fact that he was 8 when my grandfather committed suicide. And so my goal as a parent is to break that cycle. Enough suffering, enough pain. We're going to turn this around and write that final chapter that is one of hope and that's one of resilience.
I never thought that I'd be able to surpass the lifestyle that I was in. Like, I truly didn't, and nobody else did either. I did what everybody expected of me. Now that I've been able to rethink my strategy in life and been able to have people actually like care about me and rely on me, see me and hear me,
our paths to recovery are as unique as our fingerprints. What works for one individual may not work for another. When I look at the question of what do you see as a reimagined vision for the systems in the future, there's one common thing that I think we all benefit from, and that's having a healthy community and relationship where we feel like we belong.